Bhagavate Devaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Text 16. Devi na pratighatena shukle sanstamupe yushi rato va nurgrahartaya vishnuna prabhava vishnuna.
Hare Krishna, everyone. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Please accept my humble obeisances. Text 16. The Brahmana said, this spotless sun has been restored by the all-powerful and all-pervasive Lord Vishnu, the personality of Godhead. In order to oblige you, he was saved when he was doomed to be destroyed by an irresistible supernatural weapon.
Text 17. Tasman namna Vishnu Rata iti loke bhavishyati na sandeho mahabhaga mahabhagvato mahan.
For this reason, this child will be well known in the world as one who is protected by the personality of Godhead. O most fortunate one, there is no doubt that this child will become a first-class devotee and will be qualified with all good qualities.
Text 18. Sri Raja Uvacha Api Esha Vamsayam Rajarsin Punya Shlokan Mahatmana Anuvartita Svidyashasha Sadhu Vadena Sattamaha.
The good king Yudhishthira inquired, O great souls, will he become as saintly a king, as pious in his very name, and as famous and glorified in his achievements as others who appeared in this great royal family?
Text 19. Brahmana Uvacha Partha Prajavita Sakshat Ikshvakur Iva Manavaha Brahmanya Satya Sandascha Ramu Dasaratir Yatha.
The learned Brahmana said, O son of Pratha, this child shall be exactly like King Ikshvaku, son of Manu, in maintaining all those who are born. And as for the following the Brahminical principles, especially in being true to his promise, he shall be exactly like Rama, the personality of Godhead, the son of Maharaj Dashratha.
Text 20. Ishadata Sharanyascha Yathaye Aushinara Sibi Yashovitanta Swanam Daushantir Iva Yajvanam.
This child will be a munificent donor of charity and protector of the surrendered, like the famous King Sibi of the Yusinara country. And he will expand the name and fame of his family like Bharat, the son of Maharaj Dushyanta.
Text 21. Dhanvinam Agranir Isha Tulyas Charjunor Davya Yo Hutasa Iva Durdarshaha Samudra Iva Dushtara.
Amongst great bowmen, this child will be as good as Arjun. He will be as irresistible as fire and as unsurpassable as the ocean.
Text 22. Mrugendra Iv Vikranto Nivshesho Vyohimvani Tiktikusur Vasudevashu Sahishnu Pitrava Iva.
This child will be as strong as a lion and as worthy a shelter as the Himalaya mountains. He'll be forbearing like the earth and as tolerant as his parents.
Text 23. Pitamaha Samasamye Prasade Girishopama Ashraya Sarvabhutanam Yatha Devo Ramashar Ashraya.
This child will be like his grandfather Yudhishthira or Brahma in equanimity of mind. He'll be munificent like the Lord of the Kalesa Hills, Shiva, and he will be the resort of everyone, like the Supreme Personality of Godhead Narayana, who is even the shelter of the Goddess of Fortune.
Text 24. Sarva Sadguna Mahatme Isha Krishna Nam Anuvrata Ranti Deva Ivodaro Yayatir Iva Dharmikaha.
This child will be almost as good as Lord Sri Krishna by following in his footsteps. In magnanimity, he will become as great as King Rantideva, and in religion, he will be like Maharaj Yayati.
Text 25. Dhritya Bali Sama Krishne Praharada Iva Sadgraha Aharta So Savamdhanam Vradhanam Parupakshakaha.
This child will be like Bali Maharaj, in patience, a staunch devotee of Lord Krishna like Prahlad Maharaj, a performer of many Asamveda horse sacrifices, and a follower of the old and experienced men.
Text 26. Rajarshinam Janayita Sasta Chotapatha Gaminam Nigrahita Kalir Isha Bhuvo Dharmasya Karanat.
This child will be the father of kings, who will be like sages, for world peace and for the sake of religion. He will be the chastier of the upstarts and the quarrelsome.
Text 27. Takshadat Atmano Mrityum Vijaputropasrajitat Prapatasyata Upashrutya Mukta Sangha Padam Hare.
After hearing about his death, which will be caused by the bite of a snake bird sent by son of Brahmana, he will get himself freed from all material attachment and surrender unto the personality of Godhead, taking shelter of him.
Text 28. Jignasi Tatma Yatharto Munir Vyasa Sutad Asu Hitvidim Nripa Gangayam Yashyati Adhakut Vayam.
After inquiring about proper self-knowledge from the son of Vyasadeva, who will be a great philosopher, he will renounce all material attachment and achieve a life of fearlessness.
Text 29. Iti Rajna Upadeshya Viprajataka Kovidaha Labhada Pachitaya Sarve Pratigamu Swakam Grahan.
Thus, those who were expert in astrological knowledge and in performance of the birth ceremony instructed King Yudhishthira about the future history of his child. Then, being sumptuously ruminated, they all returned to their respective homes.
Text 30. Sa Esha Loke Vikyata Prakishid Iti Yat Prabhu Purvam Drishtam Anudhyan Pariksheta Narishva Iha.
So his son would become famous in the world of Parikshit examiner because he would come to examine all human beings in his search after that personality whom he saw before his birth. Thus, he would come to constantly contemplate him. Hare Krishna.
Text 31. I think you have to read up to 36.
Oh, sorry.
Text 31. Sarajaputro Vavrade Asu Shukla Ivodupaha Apurya Mana Pitribihi Kashta Vir Ivaso Navaham.
As the moon in its waxing fortnight develops day after day, so the royal prince Parikshit very soon developed luxuriantly under the care and full facilities of his guardian grandfathers.
Text 32. Yakshumano Swamedhena Nati Droha Jihasaya Raja Labdha Dhano Dadayu Nanyatra Karo Dandayo.
Just at this time, King Yudhishthira was considering performing a horse sacrifice to get freed from the sins incurred from fighting with kinsmen. But he became anxious to get some wealth, for there were no surplus funds outside of fines and tax collection.
Text 33. Tad abhipretam alaskya Bhrataro Chuta Choditaha Dhanam prahinam ajahurur udichum dishi bhurishaha.
Understanding the hearty wishes of the king, his brothers, as advised by the infallible Lord Krishna, collected sufficient riches from the north left by King Maruta.
Text 34. Tena sambruta sambharo dharmaputra yudhishthira vajimedhastribhirbhito yajne samayajadharim.
By those riches, the king could procure the ingredients for the 3 horse sacrifices. Thus, the pious king Yudhishthira, who was very fearful after the battle of Kurukshetra, pleased Lord Hari, the personality of Godhead.
Text 35. Ahuto Bhagwan Rajna Yaja Itva Dvijar Nripam Uvasha Katichin Masan Suhadram Priyakam Yayaya.
Lord Shri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, being invited to the sacrifices by Maharaj Yudhishthira, saw to it that they were performed by qualified twice-born brahmanas. After that, for the pleasure of the relatives, the Lord remained a few months.
Text 36. Tato Rajna Yunujnatyaha Krishnaya Saha Bandhubihi Yaya Yudvaravatim Brahman Sa Arjuno Yadubhirvrataha.
O Sonuka, thereafter the Lord, having bade farewell to King Yudhishthira, Draupadi and other relatives, started for the city of Dwarka, accompanied by Arjun and other members of the Yadu dynasty. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Please forgive me for my mistakes and thank you for giving me this opportunity to recite. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Can you hear me?
Yes, Mataji, we can hear you.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Please kindly accept my humble obeisances. All glory to Srila Prabhupada. Here I am again, getting another opportunity to purify myself. As you know, there is like 8-hour time difference from where I live to UK. So I got this message this morning. I couldn't let go of this opportunity, even though first I refused and then I said, no, this is my opportunity to purify myself. So we'll start as usual. Welcome everyone. And please bear with me and help me, bless me so that I get the right word at the right time. And please help me all through this class. Thank you. And I like to glorify the Bhagavata, the person Bhagavata, the book Bhagavata all the time before starting. So I'll start with this text here from the Srimad Bhagavata Mahima Stotram from Sri Krishna Lilastava, text 412 to 416 by Srila Sanatana Goswami. Sarva Sastradhi Piyusha Sarva Vedaika Satphala Sarva Siddhanta Ratnadhya Sarva Lokeka Dritada Sarva Bhagavata Prana Srimad Bhagavata Prabhu Kalidvanto Ditya Shri Krishna Parivartita Paramananda Pathaya Prema Varshayat Sarayate Sarvada Sarva Sevyaya Shri Krishnaya Namastume Madeka Bandhu Matsangen Madguru Mad Mahadhana Man Nistaraka Mad Bhagya Mad Ananda Namastute Sadhu Sadhu Tadayin Atini Chochata Kara Hana Muncha Kadachin Mam Premna Hrikantayos Puraha. So anybody volunteer to read the translation, please?
Hare Krishna Mataji, please may I read?
Yes, please go ahead. Thank you.
Okay. O Srimad Bhagavatam, O nectar churned from the ocean of all the Vedic scriptures, O most prominent transcendental fruit of all the Vedas, O you who are enriched with the jewels of all spiritual philosophical conclusions, O you who grant spiritual vision to all the people of the world, O life breath of the Vaishnava devotees, O Lord, you are the sun which has arisen to dispel the darkness of the Kali Yuga. You are actually Krishna who has returned amongst us. O Srimad Bhagavatam, I offer respectful obeisances unto you. By reading you, one attains transcendental bliss. For your syllables rain pure love of God upon the reader. You are always to be served by everyone, for you are an incarnation of Krishna. O Srimad Bhagavatam, O my only friend, O my companion, O my teacher, O my great wealth, O my deliverer, O my good fortune, O my bliss, I offer respectful obeisances unto you. O Srimad Bhagavatam, O giver of saintliness to the unsaintly, O uplifter of the very fallen, please do not ever leave me. Please become manifested upon my heart and my throat, accompanied by pure love of Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, thank you. Very nicely read. So we will do the other free prayers now, and then after that, we will later I will do the Mangalasharam. So it goes like Mukham karoti vachalam pangum langhayate gurim yat kripatam aham vande Shri Gurum Shri Gurutarinam Ramananda Madhavam Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narotamam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tatu Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavate Sevaya Bhagavate Tam Slokir Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtike. So today we are going to start from text 22 to 26. 22, please. We are in the Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 12, the birth of Emperor Parikshit. So we will start by text 22. Thank you. Hare Krishna. So we are still reading on Maharaj Parikshit. As we progress, we know how much great personality he is, and how he is being compared to different personalities. So today we will start by this text 22. Prigendra eva vikramto nishyevya himavaniva titikshur vasudevasam sahishnu pitarya viha eva. So the word to word translation is Brigendra, the lion, Eva, like, Vikranta, powerful, Nisevya, worthy of taking shelter, Himavan, the Himalaya mountains, Eva, like, Titikshu, forbearance, Vasudha, Eva, like the earth, Asu, the child, Sahishnu, tolerant, Pitoro, parents, Eva, like. Translation: this child will be as strong as a lion and as worthy and shelter as the Himalaya mountains. He will be forbearing like the earth and as tolerant as his parents. We see that how this child will be when he is born. It is all this is predicted by the great sages when King Yudhishthira consulted all the sages when Parikshit Maharaj was born. And we know from before, we are just having a follow-up of what happened to Parikshit Maharaj, how he was saved in the womb by the Lord when he was being attacked by the scorching Brahmastra of Aswathama. So now the time has come, and when he's born, all these things are being told about him. I will read the purport and then we'll continue from there. Can you scroll up, please? Thank you. One is compared, no, I'm going to, thank you. One is compared to the lion when one is very strong in chasing an enemy. One should be a lamb at home and a lion in the chase. The lion never fails in the chase of an animal. Similarly, the head of the state should never fail in chasing an enemy. The Himalaya mountains are famous for all richness. There are innumerable caves to live in, numberless trees of good fruits to eat, good springs to drink water from, and profuse drugs and minerals to cure diseases. Any man who is not materially prosperous can take shelter of these great mountains, and he will be provided with everything required. Both the materialist and the spiritualist can take advantage of the great shelter of the Himalayas. On the surface of the earth, there are so many disturbances caused by the inhabitants. In the modern age, the people have begun to detonate atomic weapons on the surface of the earth, and still the earth is forbearing to the inhabitants, like a mother who excuses a little child. Parents are always tolerant to children for all sorts of mischievous acts. An idle king may be possessed of all these good qualities, and the child Pariksit is foretold to have all these qualities in perfections. Hare Krishna. So I will continue with the Mangala Charat. Om Jnanatirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Mayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandyam Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaisnavam Chak Shri Rupam Sakrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Shri Visakam Vichamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpati Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Kiribanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Manchakalpatarubhasya Kripasindhu Bhavaeva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So thank you, devotees, for joining this class today. And please, as I said, bear with me. Here we are reading about Parikshit Maharaj. This is a lesson continued. So the important qualities of Parikshit Maharaj is described here. How this child will be. So he did not get chastised by anyone during his reign or in his life. Instead, he chastised due to his extreme power. So he's compared to a lion. So if you can see, an elephant is much bigger than a lion by size and strength. Yet the lion is proclaimed the king. And the lion is proclaimed the king. And why? Why is the lion proclaimed the king? Because he has got the potency. Here, he has got the potency of fearlessness. And he has been given that by the Lord, the strength and the potency, so that he can rule, he can govern those other animals. And we see that Parikshit Maharaj also, because he was a true devotee of the Lord, so he was imbibed with all his great potency. And we see Maharaj Parikshit, he had the right to protect his citizens. He has the capacity to protect his citizens. So since he had the strength, the potency and skills and spiritual prowess also, which were all endowed to him by the Lord, that is not like when he was a king. That was since he was in the womb of his mother, because he survived the scorching heat of Aswathama's Brahmastra. So Srila Prabhupada also mentioned in the purport that the same lion should be a lamb at home. He should also be forbearing, compassionate, patient, since these qualities are also provided by the Lord. And And then talking about the Himalayas mountain, so I cannot describe the beauty and the context and the capacity of that mountain. We know that when the yogis, when they go to meditate on the mountain there, they get all the necessities that they need for life. They do not kind of they need only few things for survival. They don't exploit the resources, and they live in harmony with all the animals there. And they don't hurt the animals, or they don't kill the animals. So in return, the animals also live in peace. So a great example is when Haridas Thakur, he was chanting in a cave, and a serpent was passing by, and snake, and none of them were disturbed, because the snake was peaceful, because Haridas Thakur also was very peaceful. He was not disturbing, he was not trying to attack the animal. So the animal also was, he was very calm. And because both of them, they were inspired within the super soul just to do their business and be quiet. Actually, animals, like the yogis, they never hurt, so they are very quiet. So the animals know that these yogis, they are not of danger. But if, like nowadays, people attack the animals, so the animal will attack back. They will not, they will retaliate. They will not keep quiet. So Haridas Thakur, so we see peace can prevail. Peace can prevail anywhere among animals and human being. When human being knows how to treat the animals, then there will be no enmity. There will be peace all the time. So as for Maharaj Parikshit, we read in the Srimad Bhagavatam, we see that there were no challenges, no difficulties during his reign, because he took good care of his citizen. He was a very good king, so he took good care of his citizen. So Maharaj Parikshit is being compared to Mother Earth also. So can somebody read, please? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Can I try?
Yes, please. Can we have the? Can we have the?
I have my book. I can read. Shall I read the Sanskrit also?
But it will be nice to share, please. Jyoti Mataji, can you share, please?
Mataji, which was? Sorry?
23.
20, we are on 22, 23, but there is a lot to read in 23 also, if you can share.
Okay, 1 second, yeah.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, shall I do 23?
Yes, please.
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Pitamaha samaye prasade girisho parama arshaya sarvabhutanam yatha devo ramashayam. The translation: this child will be like his grandfather Yudhishthira or Brahma in equanimity of mind. He will be magnificent like the Lord of the Kailasha hill, Shiva, and he will be reserved for everyone, like the Supreme Personality of Godhead Narayan, who is ever the shelter of the good goddess of fortune. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So yes, please, we'll keep reading, and the others will read also. So we see that first we see that he's compared to Mother Earth because he had lots of patience and tolerance. Mother Earth also carries the burden of all the huge mountains, hills, skyscrapers, and people they dig boreholes and mines and exploit her. So they exploit all her resources. So we sometimes we discard all our impurities on her, but she tolerates all these, as a mother tolerates, as Srila Prabhupada has written, tolerates the mischievous act of a child. So Srila Prabhupada said that Maharaj Parikshit had perfected the qualities of Mother Earth. And then also, can you keep reading, please? Someone else?
Can I read, Mataji? Hare Krishna.
Yes. Yes, Sakshi, go ahead, please. Hare Krishna.
Should I
Thank
start
you.
from the purport, mental equanimity?
Yes, please.
Mental equanimity refers both to Maharaja Yudhishthira and to Brahma, the grandfather of all living beings. According to Sridhar Swami, the grandfather referred to is Brahma, but according to Vishwanatha Chakravarti, the grandfather is Maharaja Yudhishthira himself. But in both cases, the comparison is equally good because both of them are recognized representatives of the Supreme Lord, and thus both of them have to maintain mental equanimity, being engaged in welfare work for the living being. Any responsible executive agent at the top of administration has to tolerate different types of onslaught from the very person for whom he works. Brahmaji was criticized even by the gopis, the highest perfectional devotees of the Lord. The gopis were dissatisfied with the work of Brahmaji because Lord Brahma, as creator of this particular universe, created eyelids which obstructed their seeing Lord Krishna. They could not tolerate a moment's blinking of the eyes, for it kept them from seeing their beloved Lord Krishna. So, what to speak of others, who are naturally very critical of every action of a responsible man? Similarly, Maharaja Yudhishthir had to cross over many difficult situations created by his enemies, and he proved to be the most perfect maintainer of mental equanimity in all critical circumstances. Therefore, the example of both grandfathers for maintaining equanimity of mind is quite fitting.
Thank you. Someone will continue reading. I will just talk a little bit on these two personalities here that are mentioned, and then we'll continue reading. Okay? So Srila Prabhupada compares Maharaj Parikshit with Lord Brahma and Yudhishthira Maharaj. So Maharaj Parikshit was very composed, even in most challenging situations, since he was engaged in welfare of his subjects all the time. So these great souls, they were managing millions of other souls, like Lord Brahma. He was managing millions of other souls. And as we just read, even the gopis were great devotees. They criticized him in the Gopi Gits, Kutila Kantalam, like the pupils of the eyes, they're kutil. They are not good because I have to blink and close my eyes, and the moment I take to close my eyes and blink, I cannot see Krishna. So they didn't want that. They wanted to be like Lord Jagannath, so that his eyes around and he hasn't got any people to close and open. So they criticize Lord Brahma, even a great personality as Lord Brahma. So we see, and then because Maharaj Parikshit, he had love and he was peaceful, so he could share his good qualities with others. And Maharaj Parikshit had mental equanimity, like his grandfather Yudhishthira, because the Pandavas went through so much turbulences in their life, but yet Maharaj Yudhishthira was always composed, and he never took any offense even on Duryodhan. I heard in a class the other day, he was Maharaj Yudhishthira never called Duryodhan Duryodhan. He would call Duryodhan Suyodhan. Why? Because Suyodhan means a great warrior, and he never used the word Duryodhan, which was not appropriate for him, like for Maharaj Yudhishthira to go. So even if they went through so much tribulation, they were very composed. So Parikshit Maharaj will be like his grandfathers. So can we continue, please? Somebody else can read, like Lord Shiva. Yes, please go ahead. Thank you.
So, Lord Shiva is a celebrated demigod who awards gifts to beggars. His name is therefore Asudosha, or one who is pleased very easily. He is also called the Bhutanatha, or the Lord of the common folk, who are mainly attached to him because of his magnificent gifts, even without consideration of the after effects. Ravana was very attached to Lord Shiva, and by easily pleasing him, Ravana became so powerful that he wanted to challenge the authority of Lord Rama. Of course, Ravana was never helped by Lord Shiva when he fought Rama, the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the Lord of Lord Shiva. To Vrikshura, Lord Shiva awarded a benediction which was not only awkward but also disturbing. Vrikshura became empowered by the grace of Lord Shiva to vanish anyone's head simply by touching it. Although this was awarded by Lord Shiva, the cunning fellow wanted to make an experiment of the power by touching the head of Lord Shiva. Thus, the Lord had to take shelter of Vishnu to save himself from trouble, and the Lord Vishnu, by his illusory potency, asked Vrikshura to make an experiment with his own head. The fellow did it and was finished himself, and so the world was saved from all sorts of trouble by such a cunning beggar of the demigods. The excellent point is that Lord Shiva never denies anyone any sort of gift. He is therefore the most generous, although sometimes some kind of a mistake is made.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Thank you. So he's compared to Lord Shiva. As we see Ashutosh. Ashutosh is when someone who's pleased very easily, and Lord Shiva is pleased very easily. Anyone who approach him, he cannot deny anything. He cannot refuse to give them whatever boons they want. So this story of the Vritrasura is like he wanted to become immortal. So Lord Shiva said, no, I cannot give you that boon. So he said, okay, give me the boon that if I put my hand on anyone's head, they will burn to ashes. So Lord Shiva said, so be it. And then he wanted to try it. He ran after Lord Shiva. And then he told Lord Shiva, you have got a very beautiful wife. Once I burn you to ashes, I will enjoy with your wife. So Lord Shiva had to save himself. So he started running. And this Vikrasura, he pursued Lord Shiva everywhere. And then Lord Shiva started calling for Krishna, for Vishnu. And Lord Krishna, he appeared like a little Brahmana in front of Vikrasura. And he said, why are you running so fast? And he said, have you seen Shiva running around? And he said, yes, I just saw him just running. And what happened? What's the problem? And Vikrasura said that, yeah, he gave me a boon. And then I want to try on him, but he's running. So Lord Krishna started laughing. And he said, why are you laughing? He said, did you believe him? Do you believe him? He gave me the same boon. And look, I cannot do anything with whatever power he gave me. And he told the Vikrasura, try it on yourself. So put your hand on your head, you will see. You know, since he was insulted in the Yagna of Daksha, he had lost all his power, all his potency. He cannot give anyone any benediction anymore. Then eventually, Vikrasura, he just put his hand on his head and he got burnt. He burnt himself. And then in this way, Lord Shiva was saved. But still, Lord Shiva gave boons, a lot of boons, and he is the one to save the fallen souls. Like when there was a churning of the ocean of milk, first came out the poison, halhala, and he drank that poison. And when he drank that poison, he realized that, oh, my Lord Ram is sitting in my heart, and if it goes in my heart, it will disturb my Lord. So he had it in his throat. That's why his throat is bluish, and he's called Nilkant. He has got many names, and he has like many pastimes. And we also know, I think yesterday in the class I was talking about it, people say that Lord Ram was praying to Lord Shiva at Rameswaram. That is not true. Lord Ram, he didn't have any necessity of praying to any Lord, even to the ocean, to Varundev. He didn't have to pray. He was just telling them that, yes, I'm going to do that. Make them aware of it. And when we see some people put picture that he's praying to Lord Shiva by the show and asking permission to go and fight. That was not true. He was telling Lord Shiva, I'm going to kill your devotee, because Ravana was a big devotee of Lord Shiva. He even cut his 10 head, put in the sacrificial fire to please Lord Shiva. But still, he was not immortal. And then Lord Shiva appeared and gave the arrow to Lord Ram, which he could kill Ravana. So in this way, even we know he tried to test Arjuna during the exile in the forest. He sent a wild boar while Arjuna was sitting and meditating on a tree. And then Arjuna defended himself when the wild boar was going to attack him. And similarly, at the same time, Lord Shiva, he also released a bow. And then there was a fight among who killed that wild boar. And then Arjuna won the battle and then won the fight. And then Lord Shiva revealed himself. He was trying to test Arjuna. So in this way, he gives boons and he helps. And he's called also Bhutnato because he's very compassionate towards the ghosts, the hobgoblins, the Bhuta Pichasas and all. And he is very, very compassionate toward them. So here compassion is shown by comparison with Lord Shiva to Maharaj Parikshit. So can someone continue reading, please?
Hare Krishna, can I have a go?
Thank you, please go ahead. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Rama means the goddess of fortune, and her shelter is Lord Vishnu. Lord Vishnu is the maintainer of all living beings. There are innumerable living beings, not only on the surface of the planet, but also in other hundreds of thousands of planets. All of them are provided with all necessities of life for the progressive march towards the end of self-realization. But on the path of sense gratification, they are put into difficulty by the agency of Maya, the illusionary energy, and so travel the path of a false plan of economic development. Such economic development is never successful because it is illusionary. These men are always after the mercy of the illusory goddess of fortune, but they do not know that the goddess of fortune can live only under the protection of Vishnu. Without Vishnu, the goddess of fortune is an illusion. We should therefore seek the protection of Vishnu instead of directly seeking the protection of goddess of fortune. Only Vishnu and the devotees of Vishnu can give protection to all. And because Maharaj Parikshit was himself protected by Vishnu, it was quite possible for him to give complete protection to all who wanted to live under his rule. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you. So here we see that also, as it is explained, it's very clear to understand that everything is provided in this world, but we should know how to use them wisely. Some people abuse all the natural things that the Lord has provided. If everyone takes a share, like everyone as human being, we are destined to eat only fruits, vegetables, and the herbs and milk product and all. But if we start killing animals, that's what's happening. That's Kali is very prominent, and it is very, very bad. The amount of animals they are killing, the number of animals they are killing, the lives they are taking every day, and that is what is causing more difficulty to all of us. But if we take to the Vedic culture where people had only land and cows and everybody was happy and there was no war, no quarrel and all. So since this age of Kali has started, everything has been degrading, and it will degrade furthermore as we enter more and more into the age of Kali. And here we see Maharaj Parikshit, he even when he was in the womb of his mother, he had the shelter of the Lord. So he had this quality that he could rely on the Lord all the time. It doesn't matter what happened to his life, Even when he was cursed to die by the Brahmana boy Shringi, he could have counter curse, or he could have asked Lord Vishnu or Lord Krishna to save him, because they saved him before. The Lord saved him before, so he could have asked, but no, he wanted to follow the course of his life because that is what was destined to happen to him. So he accepted it nicely, and then he left everything. He went by the river Ganga just to listen to the Bhagavad Gita for 7 days. And this is the culture. This was the culture. So if we try to walk on his path, maybe life will go back to before as it was before. But again, we have to abide to the law of nature, because Kali has also to do his course in this material world. So we accept, and as Vaishnavas, as devotees, we should continue to work on our righteous path. And please, can someone else read?
Mataji, can I read the text, please?
Yes, please go ahead. Thank you.
Text 24. Sarva Sadgunam. Yeah.
Thank you.
Sarva Sadguna Mahatmae Esha Krishnam Anuvrata Ranti Deva Ivo Daro Yayatir Eva Dharmika. Translation. This child will be almost as good as Lord Sri Krishna by following in his footsteps. In magnanimity, he will become as great as King Rantideva, and in religion, he will be like Maharaj Yayati. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Can someone else read, please, purport?
Hare Krishna. Can I read, please?
Yes, please.
Thank
The
you.
first paragraph.
The last instruction of purport by His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The last instruction of Lord Shri Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita is that one should give up everything and should follow in the footsteps of the Lord alone. Less intelligent persons do not agree to this great instruction of the Lord, as ill luck would have it. But one who is actually intelligent catches up this sublime instruction and is immensely benefited. Foolish people do not know that association is the cause of acquiring qualities. Association with fire makes an object hot, even in the material sense. Therefore, association with the Supreme Personality of Godhead makes one qualified like the Lord. As we have discussed previously, one can achieve 78% of the godly qualities by the Lord's intimate association. To follow the instructions of the Lord is to associate with the Lord. The Lord is not a material object whose presence one has to feel for such association. The Lord is present everywhere and at all times. It is quite possible to have his association simply by following his instruction, because the Lord and his instruction and the Lord and his name, fame, attributes, and paraphernalia are all identical with him, being absolute knowledge. Associated with the Lord, even from the womb of his mother up to the last day of his valuable life, and thus he acquired all the essential good qualities of the Lord in all perfection. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. So we see that Maharaj Parikshit is also compared to Lord Shri Krishna as he followed what Lord Shri Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita. And that is in chapter 18, verse 66. It's a very famous verse, I think. I'm sure everyone knows it. Sarva dharman paritya janmamekam saranam braja aham tvam sarve papibhyo mokshasyami ma suchaha. So the Lord is saying, just forget all the, abandon all varieties of religion and simply surrender unto me. I shall liberate you from all sinful reaction. Do not fear. So Maharaj Parikshit followed the instruction, not only when he became king, but since he was in the womb of his mother, where he got the protection, the association of the Lord. So he has taken that on himself, that yes, he has to follow what the Lord has told everyone to do. So yes, that is for here. And then he says he has, if we follow as the Lord has asked us to do, here Prabhupada has written in the purport, we can achieve 78% of the godly qualities only by associating with by having an intimate association. So how do we do that? We have to constantly be in the association of devotees, of good devotees, and with the Lord himself. Because even if we don't have time, opportunity to go to the temple, at home itself, we can have a little temple. We can talk to the Lord. We can do service. We can do our prayers, our arti, and offer bhoga. And this is association. And we can read the books, and we can chant mantras. We can sing so many nice stutis are there in the Bhagavatam. So that is also kind of associating with the Lord. So these things we can do. Okay. So can someone else read? We will read only a few purpose, and then because it will be too long otherwise, let's read only for Rantidev, and then we'll stop. I will continue. Can anyone read this one?
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Okay, go ahead, Pushpa.
May I read?
Pushpa Ben, or who is it?
Okay. Do you want me to read? Yeah, from Rantidev.
Yes,
Yeah.
please. Rantidev, yes.
Rantideva, an ancient king prior to the Mahabharata period, referred to by Narad Muni while instructing Sanjaya, as mentioned in Mahabharata, Drona Parva 67. He was a great king, liberal for hospitality and distribution of foodstuff. Even Lord Shri Krishna praised his acts of charity and hospitality. He was blessed by the great Vasishtha Muni for supplying him cold water, and thus he achieved the heavenly planet. He used to supply fruits, roots, and leaves to the rishis, and thus he was blessed by them with fulfillment of his desires. Although a Kshatriya by birth, he never ate flesh in his life. He was especially hospitable to Vasishtha Muni, and by his blessings only he attained the higher planetary residence. He is one of those pious kings whose names are remembered in the morning and evening.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Thank you, Mataji. So we see Rantideva, he was a very pious king, and he was a very great devotee of the Lord. And then, but unfortunately, what happens once there was famine in his country, and everyone was starving. But he used just to sit and meditate on the Lord and pray to the Lord to give strength to his subject to survive. But the condition worsened, and the king himself had nothing to eat. So what happens one day? So none of his family members would even eat if unless he has fed all the subject. So what happened one day? There was no food, nothing. He was so weak, and then he kept praying. He kept praying, and then one person came with a bowl of porridge, a bowl of sweet rice, and when that person came, he was going to have some of it. Then a brahmana came to his place, and the king gave him some of the food. So after the brahmana left, a beggar came, and he gave some of the food to the beggar, and then he shared. When he shared it, when he finished sharing it, he was about to eat again. Then another person came, a beggar, and then a sweeper of the road. He came with his dogs, and so the king Rantidev he shared the rest of the solid food to them all, and there was little water left. And when he was about to drink that water, a Chandala appeared, and his throat was very scorched with dryness. So again here, the king handed over the glass of water to that Chandala. So it is said that even though the Chandala drank the water, King Rantidev looked refreshed, and he prayed ardently to the Lord, to Lord Vishnu, to give him courage, and to his subject also. And what happened is suddenly Maya Devi appeared in front of him, and Maya Devi told him that, and with all her associates, she came there. And Maya Devi told her that she was very, very pleased with his devotion and his extreme love for the Lord, for his people, and for his people. So Maya Devi said, okay, told him, if you pray to me, I will give you all the riches necessary for your kingdom. So Rantidev refused. Rantidev said no, because I am a staunch devotee of Lord Sri Hari. I will not pray to you. And then Maya got she was so scared on hearing that I am a staunch devotee of Lord Hari. So she fled from there. Then Rantidev kept praying. Then the Lord was so happy, and the Lord came himself, and the Lord blessed him. And the Lord told Rantidev that that he will become a great yogi. Eventually, he became a great yogi, and he got himself very much involved in meditation at his last stage of life. So he was here. We see that King Parikshit also is compared to Rantidev. So there is a story of Yayati which comes after. So if we continue reading, I can see that we may run out of time. So I will just tell about Yayati a little bit. So Maharaj Parikshit is compared to King Yayati. The story of King Yayati is very interesting. So we know that he married the daughter of Shukracharya, who was the guru of the demons, and Shukracharya's daughter, her name was Divyani. Once she was sporting in a river with her friends. Among them was a daughter of another king named Shamistha. The story goes Yayati was very lusty. So what happened is Yayati was Shamistha and all the friend and Divyani, they went the river, so they saw Lord Shiva going by. So they just came out of the water just to cover their body. And Shamistha, she by mistake took the clothes of Divyani and she covered herself. And then Divyani got very angry. Divyani, because she was the daughter of a sage, and Shamistha was the daughter, because here we know that Shukracharya, he was not a demon, he was their guru, but he was supposed to be the guru of the Devtas. And then the Devtas, they chose Brihaspati upon him. So he got very angry. Then he went to become the guru of the demons. So he was still a great sage. So then Divyani was telling that these about the king, he was telling, because they were the king, they were Kshatriya, they were under the Brahmanas. So here this conversation arose, and then Divyani and Shamistha, they got into an argument, and Shamistha, she pushed Divyani in a well, and then they all left her and they run away. So then Divyani was shouting from the well, and when King Yayati was passing by, he was young prince at that time. He was passing by. He just heard that cry, and then he tended his hand into the well to take Divyani out. Then Divyani said, "Now you have held my hand. You have to get married to me," because it's like when we see in the rituals, when the parents give the hand of their daughter to the hand to the son-in-law. So that is a Grahana Pani or something, they say that. So here Divyani is saying that you held my hand, so you have to marry me. And then they got married. And Shukracharya, and then yes, when she went home, she told her father what happened. And the father took her and went to see the king. So why did your daughter do that? And the king said, okay, he was so scared of the curse of Shukracharya that he asked, what can I do to mend the situation? Then Divyani said, I want your daughter to become my servant and come with me. And that was a mistake she made, because Shamistha also fell in love with Yayati, and Yayati was very lusty. So he had 3 sons with Shamistha and 2 sons with Divyani. And then when Shukracharya knew about it, when Divyani told her father about it, Shukracharya cursed him that he will lose all his potency. But being so lusty, he prayed. He said, I am still, my desires is not fulfilled yet. So please, can you take the curse away? So Shukracharya said, no, you will get old and you will get impotent. So then Shukracharya said, okay, you can ask one of your sons to help you. They can give you their youth and take your old age. So again, he asked the 4 elder sons. Nobody accepted, but his last son, whose name was Puru, he accepted. He changed his body. So in this way, Yayati enjoyed for many years. I think thousands of years he enjoyed. But at the end, when he fell because he was very lusty, then his daughter and grandson, they gave him all their credits, their merits that they have acquired. And then Yayati got again to his spiritual life, and he even associated with the great sages and the demigods in the outer planetary system, where he was with Yamaraj, where he had performed many yagnas. And then at the end of his life, with the help of his King Sibi and his daughter and grandsons piety, he got to go. He got back to his spiritual life, and he went to the heavenly planet. He went to the forest at the end of his life just to continue on his meditation. So that is the story of King Yayati, what we have been, Srila Prabhupada has been explaining here. And again, we know that We know that even Yayati was lusty. He fell. He was still connected to the Lord. He faced many challenges, but when he was well helped out by others, and he managed to establish his life in connection with the Lord. So that is there. And then can we move, please, to see what is coming again? Can you move, Mataji, to the text, other text? Yeah, okay. Okay. Text 25. Dhritya Bali Sama Krishna Prahalada Iva Satgraha Tartesha Aswadhanam Vridhanam Paripakshaka. So, translation, that this child will be like Bali Maharaj, impatient, a staunch devotee of Lord Krishna, like Prahlad Maharaj, a performer of many Aswamedha horse sacrifices, and a follower of the old and experienced man. So we see that he is compared to Bali Maharaj and to Prahlad Maharaj in this text 25. So both of them here, and even Bali Maharaj and Prahlad Maharaj, both of them are compared to great Mahajanas. We know that there are 12 Mahajanas, like Brahma, Narada, Sambhu, who is Lord Shiva, and the four Kumaras, Kapil Dev, Manu, Prahalada, Janak Dev, Bhishma Dev, Bali Maharaj, Vyasaki, who is Sukdev Goswami, and Yamraj. So all of them, they are Mahajana, great devotees. And here it is saying that Parikshit Maharaj will become like Bali Maharaj and Prahlad Maharaj. Sorry. So we can learn great lessons from Bali Maharaj. Even his guru instructed here. We will come again to Sukracharya. Sukracharya was a guru of Bali Maharaj. When Lord Vamandev, when the Lord disguised as Vamandev, he went to ask for free step of land from Bali Maharaj. Sukracharya said, no, don't give him, because he meditated and he saw that he was Vishnu himself, Lord Vishnu. He said, don't give. But Bali Maharaj thought that if the Lord has come in front of my door to ask me for something, I can never refuse. Even if he takes everything from me, I will give. But we see that here this guru is wrong. He is not doing the right thing, because he knew once if the Lord takes everything from Bali Maharaj, all the demons will be in problem again, like the demons were very prominent at that time. That's how Bali Maharaj has been able to get the whole world under himself. So they prayed to the Lord, and the Lord said, okay, I will come as Vamandev, and I will restore all your lands and give back to you all your kingdoms. So that's how he came as a young devotee. And he never did, Bali Maharaj, he was like Prahlad Maharaj, his grandfather. Prahlad Maharaj, he was a staunch devotee of the Lord, and we know how he was mistreated by his father, and how he was being taken when his father was Hiranyakashipu, when Hiranyakashipu was meditating in the forest, and Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj was in the womb of his mother Gayadu. We know that all the demigods, even Indra, was taking her, and they said that they are going to kill the child, because if the father is a demon, the child also will become a demon. So they were taking her. Then Narad Muni, he stopped them. Narad Muni took Gayadu to his ashram, and from there, Prahlad Maharaj was in the womb. He heard all the scriptures from Narad Muni. Narad Muni was teaching him even when he was in the womb of his mother. So in this way, he became a very great devotee. And we know that when Lord Nrsimhadev appeared, Lord Nrsimhadev asked him to ask for a boon. He said, I don't need anything. And then the Lord said, no, I want to give you something. I said, my father was a very cruel person. Please, can you save him? Then the Lord said, he is already saved, because when there's a devotee in the family, he said, some says like 7 generation, or some say that 21 generation, they got salvation. So here we see that how Prahlad Maharaj was a great devotee himself. And when Bali Maharaj was there, Bali Maharaj also, he gave all that the free steps of land to Vaman Dev. He didn't hesitate. But Vaman Dev, when he extended his body, that's what he asked. He asked for 3 steps of land. And Bali Maharaj was laughing. He said, look at your size. You're asking only for 3 steps of land. Why don't you ask me for free villages or free towns or free palaces? He said, no, I am asking according to my capacity. So that is what he did. He asked. So Bali Maharaj gave and took water and did this what we do, sankalpa, that yes, I'm going to give you. So when he gave that promise, then Vaman Dev, he enlarged his body. In first step, he covered the whole outer space. The second step, the whole earth. And he asked, where should I put my 3rd step now? Because you still owe me. And then Bali Maharaj said, who is greater? The donation was a donor. Then Vaman Dev says, I don't know. So he said, okay, put your 3rd step on my head. And then Bali Maharaj was he knelt in front of the Lord, and the Lord put his 3rd step on his head, and in this way he pushed him down to the Patala Lok, where he resides. And then before going, he told the Lord that I want to see you every day. So the Lord said, okay, I will be there as your doorkeeper, so you can have my darshan whenever you want. So this is Bali Maharaj and Prahlad Maharaj. And then we know here also, if we constantly and seriously associate with Krishna and his devotees, we will definitely develop qualities of great personalities, of the great Mahajans. So Maharaj Parikshit he was such a wise and king, and he learned all the skills from his grandfathers, and anyone who would he even chastised Kali, but he would also chastise anyone who would try to act under the influence of Kali. So Srila Prabhupada wrote nicely on the behavior of non-devotees. So can we read text 26, please? I'm just rushing with it. Mataji, can you scroll up? Read text 26. Okay. Somebody want to read? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, can I read?
Yes, please, go ahead. Thank you.
Raja Srinam Janeta Shasta Kotpatha Gaminam Nigrahita Kaleresha Bhuvodar Masyaka Karanat. Translation. This child will be the father of kings who will be like sages for world peace and for the sake of religion. He will be the chastiser of the upstarts and the quarrelsome. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you. So yes, we know that how great personality Maharaj Parikshit was, and he, as I said, he never got chastised. He was chastised by. He never gets chastised. He chastised Kali and even anyone who tried to act under the influence of Kali. Srila Prabhupada wrote nicely on the behavior of the non-devotees and atheistic people of the age of Kali. So if we want peace and prosperity, Srimad Bhagavatam gives us the solution of how to subdue all aspects of Kali. And we see how Srila Prabhupada introduced the 4 regulative principles at the beginning of our Krishna conscious movement, because he have read all this, and he knew if we abstain from taking all these things, then we can bring back some peace in our life. So we know the 4 regulative principles was no meat eating, no gambling, no illicit sex, no intoxication, which are all based on the symptoms of Kali. So when somebody eats animals, so they have no compassion. They are taking lives of others. So that is one pillar of the dharma. And when people get intoxicated, that is also the same thing. kind of same thing. And then another symptom of Kali. And where there was illicit sex, there is no cleanliness. And where there is gambling, that is no morality, there's cheating. So Srila Prabhupada introduced this because he have seen what happens when there are slaughterhouses, when there are women, wine, and all these things. So that's why right from the beginning of this movement, he has introduced this just to prevent us from falling down more. And if we can abide to these 4 regulative principles, that means we can introduce back peace and morality in the society and bring back the 4 legs of dharma. So Hare Krishna, dear devotees, I think I will stop here. If you have any questions or any corrections or any realization, please go ahead. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Tender Pranam Sarvashra Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you for a wonderful class. A couple of points, Mataji, a couple of clarifications. Firstly, I think you mentioned King Yayati was promoted to the spiritual world. Actually, was promoted to the heavenly planets, not to the spiritual world.
Yes, Prabhuji. Sorry, sometimes it happens. Okay, thank you for correcting me. Go ahead.
Yeah, because he was not qualified enough to reach the spiritual world. Secondly, you mentioned also that Lord Ram did not pray to Shiv, Lord Shiv. Actually, that I think is also incorrect. He did, not because Lord Shiva is superior to Lord Ram, but because Lord Ram was in the form of an ideal householder, ideal grahastha, in the same way as Lord Krishna would do ceremonies every morning. He would do pujas, he would do Indra puja, he would do Surya puja, he would do everything every morning. Same way that Lord Krishna was bow down to Yudhishthir, not because Yudhishthir was greater than Lord Krishna, but because he, out of love and affection. Same way, Lord Ram was out of love and affection for his Lord Shambhu is, of course, the greatest devotee. He would pray to him because to show the world as an ideal grahastha how one should be praying. So it's not true that he did not pray to Lord Shiva. He did, but not because Lord Shiva is greater than Lord Ram.
Yes, Prabhuji, but there are many versions of Ramayana written. Also,
this is a Valmiki one that says this.
Yes. Yes. Okay, Prabhuji. Okay, thank you for the correction. Okay, anyone else? Okay, if there is no questions, no comments, please can I end this session by doing our Vaishnava prayer? Vanchakalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhavaiva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Thank you everyone for joining and for putting.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.